Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. This is a speaking practice. I have a student here. His name is Drago, and you might remember him from the previous practice for his unpopular opinions. So we are doing a part one speaking now, and I need to thank Mr. Ngokbat and his team, or whoever has made this prediction first quarter 2021 files and share it for free for everyone so we can use it to practice. I would like to give my thank to you. Okay, now Mr. Drago, are you ready for your practice?
Sure.
Okay, let's do places where people like to read. So how often do you read, mister?
I read every single day, especially in the summer. It's a very good weather that I can hang out.
Hang out?
Yes, hang out and read my
Okay.
book all the time. In order
Right.
to just be reading, because I don't think any time when anyone hanging out just bringing the phone is not going to be a good idea at all. So I think reading on the e-paper book is a very good way for you to make your reading style slower, and you actually can imagine some of the contents inside the book that you are enjoying.
Just a bit too much, but actually it's a good answer. Now, do you have many books at home?
Yes, I have many books at home. Before, when I was still a student, I was interested in reading more information as much as possible that I could. Because I was still a student, I love to research, and I also wanted to, just receive more information from industry, such as finance, politics, at the same time, some of the life skills.
Sorry, I just have to plug this earphones in, and it's going to help the recording process so people can hear you easier. Okay, so do Vietnamese people do enough reading?
I think Vietnamese people right now are doing enough of reading, because right now most Vietnamese people are kind of interested in reading online newspapers. At the same time, they are also just spending more time in order to improve their academic skills, even mindset, and they can only do that by reading more books. And more importantly, right now the bookstores in Vietnam are booming, and they are importing a lot of international books around the world.
Right, so you mean English books as well as
Yes,
Vietnamese translated books?
français, anglais, or English or Italian. I don't
Anglais?
know.
Anglais? Okay.
I'm sorry for that.
That's French. Okay, Anglais? I
Yeah,
was like, wow.
anglais.
Wait, is that a new bookstore?
Many of them right now. I heard.
Right. Okay. So this is like a typical bookstore for children in Vietnam, I think.
Yeah, and there
Right.
are also the mainstream bookstores. I heard. We all know that, but there are some smaller that provides the let's say all the services like coffee, something like that people can come to enjoy. Yeah.
Right. So with the advance of technology, do you think that one day bookstore will become obsolete?
You mean in Vietnam?
Yeah. I mean, we have iPads, we have electronic books, we have every materials online now. But do you think one day books will disappear completely from bookstores, or a bookstore will become obsolete?
I
Obsolete.
think I know. So I think that idea can become real in the future in Vietnam, because it actually is happening in Canada. Like, in Canada, there's no bookstore at all. There are only libraries, public libraries. So I think like in the future, the bookstore will become very obsolete. At the same time, they may disappear due to the, let's say losses of sales. I don't know, but like right now, but I think it would be taking a lot of times, like very long, in order to make them disappear. Right now, they are still booming. They are doing very good businesses, and well, and but I do not actually expect the day that it will disappear. I think it will disappear because it's actually happening in Canada right now.
Right. Wow, your answer is actually too much. It's a bit too much for part one, but don't worry. Just say whatever you want to say, as much
Yeah.
as you want, as much
Yeah.
you want it for part one. All right. So what kind of people like reading, and what kind of people don't? What do you think?
I think right now there are let's say about two kinds of
Toe,
people.
toe, 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 toe.
Two
Gato, gato, gato,
two
toe, 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 toe.
two
Yeah,
kind of
two
people.
kinds of people who.
Kinds of people who are interested in reading. First, there will be undergraduates, and
Uh-huh.
second, maybe the seniors, because right now seniors are, even though they can be interested in online devices, but they are still trying to keep some of the traditional ways that they used to live in, and more importantly, undergraduates, they will be needing a lot of times in order to research new information for the study. At the same time, if they have more potential ambitions for various industries for themselves, they will have to, equip more books or news in order to improve their academic skills. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That sounds very much like a 7.5. Speaking band speaking, 7.5.
I
Wow,
hope
I'm
so.
surprised. Did you drink alcohol today to improve your speaking skills?
2 days ago, I was drinking. I was drinking a little bit. I was playing
You know,
poker and
drinking
drinking.
actually improves your English speaking skill, just language skill in general.
It actually depends. Okay, I used to experience this. This is a very good experience. That it depends on the environment that you are drinking in. Let's
Uh,
say if you are drinking in the banquet that with a foreigner, let's say Canadians, and you guys just use English in order to communicate to each other, and at the same time you guys drinking alcohol, it will
you
be a very good
guys, you
time.
guys, you guys.
Yeah, well, because that is the outside question, so I'm just making the answer with
No,
more
you should
regular.
try to use more academic words, like, for example,
Sure.
people who drink.
People will drink a lot, and most people, when they are drunk, they will be speaking a lot, and in the kind of language and English environment. So I think it would be the best way, to improve your English communication skill. But
Your
let's say
English communication skill.
So let's say if you're drinking in, let's say, Vietnamese speaking environment and talking all of the time in Vietnamese, I don't think it would be a good time in order to improve something. Yeah.
Well, first of all, they need to learn the pronunciation of Vietnamese first, in order to get the right pronunciation, get it right, and then
Yeah.
they can drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question for you is in topic number 13. Do you often sing? Singing. Do you often sing?
I I used to love to sing, but right now I'm kind of too busy, see, to spend time on singing. But before I was playing guitar, and I used to combine my guitar skill and some of my favorite songs, to make the full song or performance. Therefore, I thought
Right.
that like singing
So,
was a very good skill that everyone should have.
right, very good. So, well, when do you like to sing?
I think mostly I would love to sing
Most of the time,
when
I like to sing.
I
Most of the
would.
time, I like to sing.
So most of the time I would like to sing when I have found a new song. Let's say like if I found like new, yeah, just new song, and I would try to combine my guitar skill and singing at the same time. So one day, if I have a chance to sing in the public, so I think it would be a very good chance, to let people know how you are singing and playing at the same time.
Right. So, is it difficult to sing well, do you think?
I think it is not so difficult to sing well as long as if you are keeping the melody and you are playing the song on the way that is appropriate to your voice. So I think that will be okay. And there
But
are
how about practice every day? Is it good for singing well? Daily
um
practice?
okay, it depends on what you practice. Like, let's say, like if you're practice to sing like a singer, and you are trying to make your voice, let's say, clear, or just making like opera voice, I think it would be professional singing. It would be very difficult in order
Like that.
to, yeah, it would be very difficult in order to practice. But if you're just practice singing, like based on the melody, you follow the music, and I think it would be fine. Yeah.
Right. So, do you want to be a singer?
No, I don't want to be the singer because that I am not going to become like, let's say, working as in the musical industry as a professional singer. I'm not going to do that.
Right. Okay, so how you have chosen your path, and that path is unfortunately not singing. I see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fortunate. Who knows?
Oh, no, I will never.
Okay, fortunate or unfortunate, it depends on perspective. No, it depends on perspective, different perspective. Maybe some people will say that, oh my god, Mr. John used to be a pharmacist. It would be so unfortunate that he quit that and become a teacher. But they don't know the true story. Basically, I
Yeah.
did not like to become a pharmacist at all. So I changed my direction and now I'm happy. So it is fortunate for me that decided, I
Yeah.
decided way earlier than the others.
Yeah, like
So,
everyone in their life has a chance in order to challenge themselves with their new skills, right?
of
So they can try
course.
anything. Like they can try playing, let's say, playing guitar, singing, piano, or let's say like mental skills such as playing poker, playing chess,
Oh,
and they
you
will
play
try
chess
to.
as well? You play chess as well?
Yes, I play Chinese chess and Western chess
I
too.
like international chess. That's called Western chess, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
so
international chess.
I'm not a good chess player. I can be like a good poker player, but I'm not a good chess player. Yeah.
Right. So, well, I can still play it. Of course, I'm not the best player, but I love to play it. Anyway, one
Have you
time
ever
we
tried
might.
in any chess tournament before?
I suck at tournaments.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
I never want to attend any tournaments or any competition because I'm not competitive enough.
Okay.
I was never competitive enough, so I always
Yeah.
lose anyway. So, what kinds of music do you like to sing, Mr. Drago?
What kind of music do I like to
Yes,
sing?
what kinds of music do you like to sing?
I think uh, I would love to sing pop songs. Sometimes I do, and I used to sing rock songs in some of the famous
Venues, music venues?
yeah, music venues, or some like from the famous bands such as Guns N' Roses, the Beatles, or let's say individually like Elvis Presley. Yeah.
Oh, Elvis
So
Presley.
rock song and pop song are the most popular kind of song that I usually sing. Yeah.
Right. Even though it might not be popular for others, but you know, at least it's popular for you. I mean,
Yeah.
who cares about what other things? Anyway, let's move on to a topic part two because when your voice warm up already, you're ready. Now, so topic part two, get your pen and paper, please, or pencil and papers.
Sure. Got it.
Right. Topic part two and part three is about polite or being polite.
Person,
You
okay,
know,
no.
yeah, okay, describe a polite person, You should say who he or she is, how you knew him or her, what he or she is like, and explain why you think he or she is polite. You should never describe Mr. John.
No, you are not polite at all.
Okay, great. Perfect. Perfect. I like
That's
honesty,
good.
you know? I like honesty. I'm not a polite person. Okay,
No
part
one is
3.
polite enough. I'm just
What
kidding.
is the standard of being polite? Part 3, what is the standard of being polite? So the question actually asks you like, what is considered as being polite? Like for example, if you go to a restaurant, if you date someone, is it normal to pay the bills? Who pay the bills? Something like that.
Being
What
gentleman.
is this? Yeah, what's the standard? Like for example, in case of clothes, like wearing what?
Politicians.
Yeah, wearing what kind of outfits to different occasions? Yes,
Mhm.
that is what is the standard of being polite. Cái chuẩn của
Okay.
chuyện lịch sự là gì?
Wow, that's an interesting topic.
It
Yeah.
is an interesting topic. And then
Yeah.
what behavior will be regarded as impolite? Hành vi nào có thể được coi như bất lịch sự? Well, for example, you grab the food from the plate of other people. Or if you date someone and then you left without paying and they have to pay for you. That is extremely rude. Oh my god.
Well, somehow in English they can call like being poor and being arrested, or in Vietnamese they
Oh
call
my
bằng cùng
god.
xin đào tặc đi.
Exactly. So who are more polite? People from cities or those from the countryside? Ai lịch sự hơn?
Okay.
Người từ thành thị hay là người từ vùng quê? Well, it depends, right? It
Wow,
depends on
this
the
is
situation.
I know this is kind of a.
It
Wow.
is a very broad topic. There are so many different scenarios you can think of, isn't
It
it?
can be very biased sometimes too.
Of
but
course, it can be
I will
very
try my best,
biased.
you know, to I will try my best, you know, to keep them like let's say
Entertained?
like, in the center. No, in the center.
You mean stay focused?
Yeah,
Stay
stay focused.
focused. Okay. So what do you think make people polite? Bạn nghĩ điều gì làm cho con người ta lịch sự?
Wow.
Money. Well,
I
actually,
have more, but there's one question that people don't ask right here. What happens if you are being polite and you are lying?
oh my lord, being polite is different from lying, of course.
I know that is the kind of question I would like to ask. Well, let's say.
What do you think makes people polite? Actually, people being polite when they do not want to say the truth, because sometimes truth hurts. So
Yeah.
maybe they try to say it, they try to alleviate. I mean, they try to hinder the truth somehow, but not in the intention of making you being misled. You know, that is being polite. Like for example, if a doctor say something to, you know, the relatives of the patient, you know what, your father is going to live for another 3 months, say your prayers. It was like, and then that is extremely rude, you know, even though it could be the truth.
It's not only rude, but it's very irresponsible.
Of course it's really responsible, but as a doctor, you have to tell the truth to the patient. You cannot hide the truth, but you can basically be polite and trying to say it in a way that is not intrusive, is not, how can I say, insulting.
Yep.
Like, instead of saying that, you can just say, oh, we tried our best, but maybe it's time for him to meet his maker. I'm just joking. Like for example saying, chúng tôi đã cố hết sức. Well, that is actually being polite, you know.
Yeah.
Chúng tôi đã cố hết sức. We tried our best. But maybe it's time for him to meet his ancestor. Nhưng mà
we are
lúc
out of hands.
Okay, I'm just joking. That's a very bad joke. Okay. Anyway, sure. You have 1 minute to think about these things. 1 minute start now. Okay, let's begin now. Please, Mr. Drago, describe a polite person you know.
So 2 years ago, I had a chance to meet a member of parliament in a opening
Member of
morning.
the parliament. Member of the parliament.
Yeah, member of the parliament.
A member of the parliament.
Yeah, just a member of the parliament. Is that you say that?
Yeah,
So
a member of
in
the parliament.
okay, so in an opening day of association, just social association from one of my bosses, yeah. So like he was like an English look with in a black suit with a blue tie because he was representing for a political party at the time, and as a politician, he was using the kind of polite languages at the same time the, let's say, civilized behaviors in a party in a public with many people. And the reason why I thought that he was a very polite person because like I told you, like he was using high profile languages at the same time. The kind of language that he was using was kind of technical in politics. At the same time, in some of the particular problems in the country. So, but even though like the kind of language that he used was kind of too academic, but it's still understandable in everyone in the social class. Therefore, I found that like the politeness that he expressed in the party was kind of significant in my opinion. Yeah.
Right, very good. So he has to be polite because he was in the parliament, I see.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about part 3 for a moment. So, what's the standard of being polite?
There are some of the good standards of being polite, but before I make some of the examples, I would love to let's take some cases like this. Like if you are debating with someone, and if there are too many oppositions from each other, so being polite means that you are not going to use any harsh attacks on anyone personally, but you're just attacking the ideas, and that's
You mean it's
polite.
being insulting?
Yes. So I mean, like you're not attacking someone personally when you are debating any problems, but you're just attacking the ideas. And at the end of the day, it will be a very good idea that people may have different ideas, but they are not attacking, persons. That is being polite first. And the second, being another standard that can be being polite is that you are using the kind of language that you are talking to, let's say, the kid, and
A
you don't really want
child?
a child, yeah. So you don't want to use like let's say too much adult languages such as like
Yes, adult languages.
slangs or bad slangs or bad
Or
examples.
taboos and slang and something
Yeah.
like that, yeah?
So therefore, like children are kind of innocent in terms of listening new content. So you have to be very polite to the children for them to remember you in a good expression and image.
Right, okay. So, talking about standard of being polite, say, when dating, for example, can you give an example for standard of being polite when dating someone?
Dating
Like who
someone?
is expected to arrive on time, who pay the bills, and so on,
In my opinion, I think like if you're a man and you love to ask a girl for a date, you should be the person who is more active than her. For example, you will be driving to her house in order to pick her up to the dating place, and during the let's say the meal in a restaurant or something or dating place, you should be the person. In the first day, you should be the person who will be actively paying the bills at the same time. Just be gentleman, like let's say keeping the door open for her to go out, or just telling her some of the stories in the more decent languages. Yeah.
Right, I see. So, so what behavior will be regarded as being impolite?
I think there are some of the behaviors that can be considered as very impolite, or it can be considered as aggressive or rude.
Rude, rude,
Rude. Okay.
rude, rude, or
Rude.
aggressive,
Aggressive.
rude.
So, for example, let's say you are so angry with someone, and when you go home, you slam the door in front of someone.
Or
So that
eating
is
in front of student.
that would be considered very impolite action behavior.
Oh, really?
And yeah, you slamming the door, it means that you're trying to put your anger on someone else from from your own personal problem, right? So that is impolite.
Okay,
Somehow.
I'm being impolite to the person who watched this video as well. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay.
You're sarcastic. That's not polite. Oh, that is polite, but sarcastic.
So, think about what else is being impolite? Arriving late to class is absolutely impolite. Do you think so?
Yes, I think so. I think like that's very impolite in order to go to class late, because let's say like that is just not only the standard but also the responsibility of each student, and the student, and going to class on time is not only about like an obligation, but it is also the training for the students to be more responsible in the future when they have to go to the workplace as the on-time worker, right? So I think like it will be impolite in order to go to class late.
Right. Absolutely impolite, and you are wasting the time of everyone else in the class if you be impolite like that, you know. Now,
Yeah.
so who are more polite? People from cities or those from the countryside? Such a biased question, very biased.
I know this is a very interesting question. Like, even though I was a very straightforward person before, but I would try to make my answer more, let's say, in the center. Okay, I think both people from both sides are polite. It depends on like how they behave to the orders. I think so, because I find like most people in city they usually use the more decent, or let's say beautiful languages in order to talk to each other, and they found that that is being civilized. That's people in the city, and but the people in the countryside, maybe they are not in the environment that people
That
usually use
requires politeness, you mean?
yeah, so people maybe in the countryside, maybe they don't really have the chance in order to approach the nice languages in communication, because being polite means you have to train yourself in the environment every single day. But the people in the countryside, maybe they don't have a chance. But I would have to say that like people in the countryside, they are supposed to be more humanistic in terms
Humanistic?
of humanistic, like nhân bản đấy.
You mean
So,
humane? You mean humane?
no, I'm using the word like nhân bản is a humanistic.
Are you sure it's humanistic?
Yeah, humanism, something like that.
Let me check. So basically, let's check for that word. Humanistic. Okay, so humanistic is believing in or based on humanism, a system of thought that considers solving human problems with the help of reason is more important than religious belief. So humanistic is people who believe in humanism.
Yeah.
And it's a religious or things like that. Not so sure if humanistic is the right word. Let's check for the word humane. It's also an adjective. Humane is being kind toward people and animals by making sure they do not suffer more than necessary. So I think being humane is a much better word in this situation.
Okay.
Tại vì humane là nó giống như là em tử tế đối với người khác, thể hiện tính nhân văn.
Sure.
Còn well, humanistic nó liên quan đến humanism. Nó giống như là kiểu cái người mà thích dùng lý lẽ để mà giải quyết các cái vấn đề tranh chấp thay vì là dùng bạo lực chẳng hạn. Thì humanistic là cái tính từ trực tiếp với những người đó.
Yeah.
So I think humane is a way better word to use in this situation, right?
I think like you just explained that humanistic is like you are using your mind and
Your thought and reasons to solve
reasons
problems.
instead of like let's say physical approaches, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's humanistic in this case. I think it will be okay for me because, like I told you, like the people in the countryside, they are supposed to be kind of more humanistic in terms of solving the problems.
You mean
Maybe
they use words and reasons to solve problems more?
yes, because maybe they are not using nice words than the people in the cities, but the way that they behave, to solve the problem, are much more humanistic somehow. And I think like, yeah, so I think like people in the countryside, they deserve some credits of being polite, but just in different way from the people in cities. Yeah.
Right, I see. So what do you think make people polite? So what will cause that politeness to come out? What causes people to act polite and behave politely?
I think like it depends on the personal experiences of everyone. Like let's say if the more experienced person, the more polite that person can be, because for example, if you are too young to know more things, so you would tend to be more aggressive when you have any anger from any problem from anyone, and you may express your angers for the public to see you, and you think that like you would expect the sympathies from the others, but in the reality that is very impolite, because you are just trying to destroy the let's say public environment, and just I don't think that's a very polite way in order to express yourself when you are having the personal problems. And if you are a more experienced person, let's say you used to deal with the angers, you used to deal with the harsh problems, you will tend to be more, let's say, calm in order to
Calm.
yeah, calm. So in order to solve the problem, and I think it would be the better way that you would be staying sharp in your mind in order to
You mean to have mental clarity? To have mental clarity?
Yeah, clarity, sharp in your
Mental
mind.
clarity, yes.
In order to
have mental clarity, yes.
in order to find the solutions to solve your personal problems that will not influence the others. Yeah.
Well,
it's based on his experience. Yeah.
Well, of course, I think this kind of question, there are so many different ways to answer them, I think. Like, in my opinion, what makes people polite is that there's the working situation that forces them to be polite. For example, if you are a flight attendant, then absolutely your job oblige you, so, or you have the obligation to be polite. Even though if the customers are extremely rude, you still have to be polite to them, and that is the requirement of the job. Well, they could also be polite to you because of other reasons. That is, they do not want to inflict pain, or they do not want to incite violence or any kind of harsh feelings,
Yeah.
I think so. I think this is actually a quite interesting topic. 14 polite. Okay, let's do 15. Describe a famous person that you are interested in. Of course, this one is easy for you.
So because that's too easy, you're going to skip it?
No. You should say who he or she is, how you knew about him or her. Be careful with the past tense. What he or she was like before he or she became famous. And explain why you are interested in him or her. And you have part 3 about famous people. What kinds of famous people are there in your country? Đất nước của bạn có những loại người nổi tiếng nào? Like for example, they're famous in what fields, you know?
Okay.
Like, or maybe they're famous because of something they have. Something they do, for example.
Okay.
What are the differences between famous people today and those in the past? Người nổi tiếng ngày nay và người nổi tiếng trong quá khứ có khi khác nhau không? Do you think famous people are necessarily good in their fields? Bạn có nghĩ người nổi tiếng thì nhất thiết là phải giỏi trong cái ngành của họ không? Lĩnh vực của họ không?
Sure.
Well, but the question asks, is it necessarily good in their field? Like, is it absolutely they have to be good in their field? Or is there any other reasons why they're famous? Like, for example, you know, some people, they are famous because they are beautiful, not because of their talent.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it happens all the
time. Necessarily, it must be good. But if they are just being, you know, beautiful, good looking, and being famous, I think that it's just a case. But necessarily, yes.
Okay,
right?
Let's discuss that later. Do you think the media is putting too much attention on famous people? Bạn có nghĩ truyền thông đang đặt quá nhiều sự chú ý về những người nổi tiếng hay không? It means like it's the media ignoring all the important aspects of life, such as COVID-19, such as other kind of news, but they put too much attention on famous people just to sell, just to be able to get more viewers for their programs.
Yeah, I know. So they just making money. So that is
Of course, and
the
you now
job
have
in order
1
to
minute.
hunt.
You have 1 minute to think, Mr. Drago. Use it wisely.
Okay.
Let's get ready. Describe a famous person that you are interested in.
Personally, I know there are a lot of famous persons in the world that people are interested in admiring. But personally, I would like to express one person in this case, and his name is Chow Yun-fat. He is a Hong Konger, let's say Cantonese actor before, during the time of 1980 to 1990. And right now he is a senior. He is still acting, but like just less than before. So the reason why that I am kind of interested in him is that right now, even though he is having the significant wealth, but he is trying to keep his decent life, such as like he just still using the subway station in order to move around. At the same time, he just going to the local market to buy
to shop.
To shop some of the let's say family occurrences.
What?
Therefore,
to shop for one of the family
appliances.
Yeah,
family appliances. So therefore, I found out like the lifestyle that he is still keeping like that is very good, because I found out like even though he's a high-profile person, but he is trying to keep the, let's say, some people say it's a low-key life, or I will be using in the more academic words as a low-profile life. Therefore, I found out like the humbleness and the kind of lifestyle that he's keeping despite of the huge wealth makes me interested in him.
Okay, very good. That's a very wholesome kind of answer. I like it. Very wholesome.
Yeah.
Rất tròn chỉnh, very wholesome. Anyway, let's go to part 3 now. Mr. Drago, what kinds of famous people are there in your country? Có những cái loại người nổi tiếng nào? Có những cái loại người nổi tiếng nào? Đừng vậy. Okay. Okay, let's try it. What kinds of famous people are there in your country?
until now, if I have to specialize in my country only, so I would say that maybe the kind of most famous people right now are, let's say, singers or just the artists. Because right now, most Vietnamese audiences are interested in watching game shows or just some of the comedian shows in order to entertain in just while they are having lunch or just anytime they are free.
Okay.
And I found that like though the interesting aspect in this case is that like the celebrities in my country have become more popular than before. I mean, like there are more celebrities day by day in many fields, but mostly they are related to the television shows. Even though they can
Game
be,
shows, from game
yeah.
shows become famous.
So let's
Yeah.
say I'll make some example. Even when you are seeing some people playing in the game shows, they can be a famous singer, or they were the actors, something like that. But nowadays, if you're just being famous, let's say you are game streamers online, or you are just let's say a famous podcaster, so you can be invited anytime to join on television just to have your image to the public. And I think like that is how people are being famous in my country. Yeah.
Well, if I got to 100,000 subscriber, I might be invited on the TV, and I'll be like extremely sarcastic on TV, and that will be even more, even a greater impact than my Lin.
Well, I'm waiting for that day.
Oh, I'll wait for that day too. Well, but I'm already
Okay.
on YouTube, and lots of people watch me, so I don't think it would be a big problem if I appear on TV. But the
Sure,
problem,
yeah, you're no
the
problem there.
problem is, when you're on TV, everything you said is scripted.
Sure.
Of course, so you have to say according to the script.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you're not allowed to say your true opinion. So that is the reason why I do not want to involve in any of these kind of, media.
Mainstream, right?
Of course, this is my channel. I can say whatever I want, just like Miss Ham. Okay, all right.
And you
Okay,
can make many more sensational topics than ever.
sensational topic, and then YouTube will flag it. I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to speak about politics or any kind of topic that can, make people angry or something like that. Anyway, so what are the differences between famous people today and those in the past?
This is an interesting question, and right now I think I would like to point out the reality between the famous people today and famous people in the past. Let's say in the past, people who actually work in arts or just when they were just in the entertainment industries, they they were actually usually like just focusing on the job as the artist or just being famous in the field that they were in. But nowadays, like I found many famous people when they are just having some of the attentions from many people, they tend to get involved to some of the problems such as politics problem, I say, and social problems. Yeah, political problems and social problems at the same time. But I think mostly political problem. And this is not a very good thing in my opinion, because if you are in the field that you are working in, it's like if you're just being famous in politics, that's fine because you're a
you have to
politician.
stay in that way and in that field, and do not try
But
to rock the boat.
if you're just being famous, let's say you are famous in entertainment or something, it means that you may have your own opinion, that's fine, but don't try to make your kind of industry politicized too much, because that will become very biased, and I don't think that would be a good way, to, let's say, mislead your industry to another field, which is in politics. That's
That's
the
a good
difference.
point. That's a very good point. So, how about in terms of their contribution to the society, their attitude? You think there are any differences between famous people today and those in the past? Let's talk first about attitude.
Attitude, right? I think like right now, famous people in the presence, they are much more, I think, more intelligent than famous people than before, because right now, when they are famous in one kind of field, they are actually like interested in let's say improving the way that they talk or the way that they are performing I'm not performing means like they're just in the public. So let's say when they are approaching anyone, and the kind of attitude will be very polite and very be careful. Just
You
be
mean
careful.
attitude would be kind of cynical or
Yeah, something
careful?
like that. Because like there are a lot of like media reporters around there. They can be reporting any news, and if there are some of the inappropriate attitude, it will become very huge scandal. Therefore, I think the most famous people nowadays are focusing on improving their skills in order to deal with the public occasions. Yeah,
Oh, public what?
occasions.
Public occasion, you mean when a occasion what that they have to be open in the public? You mean you have to talk
Yeah,
in
something like
public?
that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
any kind
I
of problem in the
see.
public. Yeah.
So that's about attitude. How about contribution to the society as a whole?
Yeah, because we are talking about attitude, so that's how I answered it.
Okay, so how about contribution of celebrities? I mean, back then and these days, do you think people nowadays they contribute more to the progress of the society or not? Or they just focusing on enriching their own pockets, creating
I think
drama?
like there are not so differences between famous people in the past and nowadays. Even though nowadays they are interested in getting involved to more fields in the society, but in the past they actually did it before. So therefore, I found, for example, like now in the past, let's say we have very famous actor in Hollywood. His name was Ronald Reagan. So he
Ah,
was
Ronald Reagan.
yeah, so he was raising his voice in terms of Cold War and some of the political problems, but he actually were actually the huge contributors of the
Contributor, yeah, contributor,
yeah
contributor,
yeah
yeah.
into the conservative community in America at that time, and he decided to run for the governor of California. And in 1980, he decided to run for the president of the United States, and that was how he contributed himself to the country, to raise the voice of the conservatism in the United States of America. And
Okay,
nowadays, I found like
yeah.
many people, most famous people are still, like interested in getting involved to social problems like that.
Getting involved in, getting
Yeah,
involved in.
but like I told you, there's a huge difference. Like even though Ronald Reagan was in Hollywood, but he didn't try to politicize Hollywood or just filming industry.
You
But
mean he
right,
didn't try to make Hollywood a kind of political arena, right?
yes,
Đấu
no,
trường chính trị.
he did.
Political
He
arena.
actually didn't do it. He actually didn't do it. He just contributing himself to the party that he was in. And but nowadays, I don't think it would be a very good way to get too much involved to many fields like in
Too much
politics.
involvement.
And because
Too much
that because
involvement.
so because I find right now the industry can be a little bit more politicized or biased somehow.
Of
So
course,
I
it's
think
very politicized these days.
yeah, so that I think that's a huge difference. Yeah, but the kind of way that they get involved to contributing to society, I think there are much differences. Yeah.
In getting involved in contributing, involved in.
In contributing into the society, I don't think there are too much differences. Yeah.
All right. So, do you think famous people are necessarily good in their fields, or is there any other reasons?
As we know nowadays, that famous people can be, like popular by many reasons or in any fields. But if I have to put a principle into, let's say, being famous, so I think the famous people should be necessarily good in the industries that they are in, because that is how they are contributing their ideas, contributing, like, let's say, some of the stories to the public, good stories. So I think they must be good at, like, let's say, if they are working in the in podcasting industry, so they must be having a very good voice and
Contributing, yeah?
distributing the
Wait,
news.
distributing the news, right? Okay.
Yeah, distributing the news to the public, and that's how being necessarily be good in the podcasting industry. Yeah, that's the example.
Well, but the question say, is it an absolute must?
Yes,
All
like I
right.
told you, let's say, like, if you're a podcaster, you must be good at distributing the news when you
Right,
are being a podcaster, right?
but think about other cases. There could be cases that people being famous for the wrong reasons, you know, like for example, making scandals.
Mm-hmm.
Then these people they might not be even good artists or good people or good in their
Mm-hmm.
fields, but they are famous because of notorious. Let's say notorious because of scandals.
Yeah.
So that could be something that you need to watch out for.
I think, like, I don't think that's a good way at all, because that is only the short term attention to the public, and we have seen that many examples of that. And I think, like, if you like to be famous for the long term reason, you should be improving the kind of skill that you are, like, contributing to the industries that you are in, and let's say, like, what you can contribute to the public.
I see. So,
Yeah.
do you think the media is putting too much attention on famous people and ignoring the others?
I think the media, like in media, there are a lot of kinds of companies working in a different kind of topics or stories. So I think, like, if there's one media company paying attention to the famous people only, and that's their job, to hunt the news, or just, like, collecting stories from the famous people. So I think that would be the job to do that. But if there are any kind of companies working, let's say, in politics, in financial market, or just in fashion, so they can be having a different field to do that. So if there's like I say, if there are any media companies just putting attention to the famous people, that'd be fine, because that is the field that they are in the media terms.
So, you mean the media actually do that intentionally, and there's nothing wrong in doing so?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong, because that's the job in the kind of, like, a news that they are reporting.
Right, so you agree that the media is putting too much attention on famous people, like
Yes.
intentionally.
Yeah,
Sorry, my voice not getting any better. I
that's
speak too
okay.
much.
Drink
Okay,
more,
I've
drink
been
more
speaking
water.
too much. Anyway, I think that's the end of the video already. It's our time is up. Okay. Now,
Okay.
this actually is a very good practice. You have any question?
Mm, when can we do another video again?
Wow, that's a good question, but probably maybe let's say next Tuesday.
Okay,
Because
sure.
remember on Friday I have to correct your writing,
Yes.
and probably you need to redo that.
I will. Yeah, I know.
Of course you have to.
I have to. Yeah, I know. It was, like, kind of out of topic a little bit. Yeah.
Of course it's not just a little bit.
Full of them. Yeah.
Of course it's a lot. All right. Now, so thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads. You can also follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye bye.